All right, I got the door off. Went ahead and 50 gridded all my weld spots. I've got I'll hold the camera right. I got this one here, and that'll have to be done from the backside too, because you can see it here. Then of course, Mr. Frowny here, around his nose area and his mouth here, I've got to weld these holes up, and then this keyhole, I'll have to make a little patch for it and weld it up. So that's what I'm going to work on. I've got several backing plates that you guys have probably already seen. I collect this when I see it. Copper, your welds won't stick to it. I've got this one here that you can see has a magnet on it, and it's stuck to a piece of rod right there. But I can pop it up on the back, and it's a good backer to also help with the heat. I've got aluminum plate. Aluminum's good for that as well. Let's see. And I think in this mesh down here somewhere, yeah, got these little guys for plug welds, which also will serve to help hold maybe something like this. Or if you don't have the ones with the magnets, you could use, aluminum plate or whatever, which I've got a whole bunch of aluminum plate under here. You can see I've just got a whole bunch of junk, but I don't throw it away because, just stuff like this, just little pieces, odds and ends, you can, you may use that as a brace or something, or weld that in, who knows, you can use it for anything. So anyway, so yeah, use that as a backer like that and clamp it down, because it's not really a good spot for that, but I can get up inside this door and put this backer inside. Let's see if I can find the hole. Here, I'll do it over on this one. Okay, so perfect example. That's holding itself right there because it's got the magnets. So now I can just fill that in. Now, that's a pretty big hole. I don't think it's quite a 1/2 inch, but it's pretty good size. So I wouldn't want to really hammer that with a plug weld, at least in my opinion. Now, you guys may differ on that, but I don't want to put that much heat. So I'll probably do maybe half of the hole, then come to the next one, do half of it, and then when that cools, come back and do the other half or something like that. Because like I said, I don't want this thing warping up real bad, and you put a whole bunch of heat on it, and that's what it's going to tend to do. This one over here, you see the door used to be butternut yellow. It's already dented right there. I don't know how well that'd show, but I'm gonna have to fix that. So I'll probably hammer and dolly that back up. This, we already talked about, that's a huge dent. You can see the hole, you can see the outline of it there where I've already run across it with sandpaper. So once I weld these up, I'll have to work that metal back up and planish it out and get it as smooth as I can. Same with all this in here. Alright guys, I'm gonna get to welding. I doubt you guys want to watch me sit and weld these little plugs and stuff. I'll bring you back as I make progress, and that'll be it. See you guys in a little bit. Alright, I was going to show you this hole. You can see right here, it's a pretty, it's pretty thick, okay? It's pretty deep down in there. So when I put my backer on here, I'll show you what I did. And this is the one I just finished. It's just like the other side. I put my backer on here and I clamped it down. So I've got it like that. Now, I'll show you over here. Now you can kind of see down in there, okay? So if you were to just start welding the surface of that, you're gonna have a big hole underneath, and you'd have to go on the other side and weld it, which I may have to touch that one up anyway, but kind of save you some time is what I'm getting at. Take your rod, when you're shooting your rod down in there, take it and put it down towards the bottom, basically towards your copper piece, and start working that in first and working it up. Okay, so you're going to weld from the bottom of the hole to the top of the hole, and then come back to the bottom of the hole to the top of the hole, and then the bottom of the hole till you fill it in. Okay, let me show you. At least this is one technique. You could probably do a complete circle at the bottom of the hole and keep working it all the way up. Probably work perfect too. Hadn't tried that. Just telling you what's working for me here. I'm gonna flip this over so you guys get an idea what it looks like on the back side. Now that's just from welding from the top side, and that's actually sticking up a little farther. So it's actually penetrated all the way through. I can grind that down and I'll probably have one little small spot there I'll have to probably touch up. Literally, hold on for a second. All right. Like I said, I haven't welded that from the back side at all. So, and it still needs to go down quite a bit. I probably need to take a regular wheel instead of this and work it down and to get it. Okay. That's about where it needs to be, and you can see I've got one little spot right there that I can probably fill in with a little bit of weld, and it's good to go. There's, you know, I don't really have to even, you know what I mean? I'm just, otherwise you just fill in the top, and then you got this big hole that you got to fill in on the back side. So, just a little tip, whether it helps you or doesn't, or whether you think I'm a dumbass, whatever, it's all good. I'll bring you back. I've got to, sorry, my compressor kicked on, it got loud. That's the thing about having vaulted ceilings and stuff. It really echoes a lot when that compressor kicks on. A buddy of mine just called, wants to go work out, so I'm going to take time to do that. I really got to get back in shape, and so I'm going to do that, and then I'll be back, and I'll get back out here. About 11 o'clock now. I'll probably be back out here around 1 after lunch. All right, see you guys. Alright guys, there it is, cleaned up a little bit. I still need to run a little fiberglass over it, but yeah, that's the top side, that's the back side. Oh shit. Wow. I had never seen this before. Well, son of a bitch. Well, looks like I'm going to get to do some more metal work. Wow. Damn. Yeah, I was just thinking I was just going to pop some holes in the front side there. But obviously I got a little bit more work to do. That's not good. I guess I better look at this stuff a little better, huh? Really, I hadn't paid a whole lot of attention to the bottom side of it. Somebody's even eating some candy. It looks pretty good inside, I mean, for the most part. There's my weld down in there. If you can see that, where it penetrated through. Good thing is I can still get to that and seal that up. Put some seam sealer or something, or you know what I mean? And keep that to where it's not gonna... There's another one. There's the back side of it. It penetrated through real good. But yeah, that's surprising. Damn, it's even up there. Little hole right through there. Well, shit. So I'll be making a patch panel for that and welding that in. It's you know, you think you're getting close and then you find shit like that. There's no telling what the other door looks like. I don't. Doesn't matter. I still would have done it. Just adding to the work I've got to do. I wonder if that door's the same way underneath. I can never get that open with one hand. We worked out chest and now I can't hardly freaking push on anything. It don't look bad under this side. Looks actually pretty clean in there. Yeah, just where that got sandblasted, I guess it went ahead and busted through because it was probably rusted. These doors tend to, obviously got water runs down in there, and it's supposed to leak out these little holes, like, I don't know if you can see that, with that little hole there. It's supposed to weep out those holes. Well, those get plugged, you know, all that water and shit sits in there, and the salt and whatever else has come off the road, and then it starts the rust process, and that's how it works. Alright guys, I got all these holes done, gone, and so now I'm gonna work on this dent here, the little mouth of the demon. You remember the eyes here and the nose, and this was the mouth. Anyway, so I flipped this over, see if I can get to the back side, because I'm gonna use this dolly here, and there was still Bondo where they squished Bondo through those holes, and I just popped it off my fingers instead of taking the time to weld it, which is funny. But anyway, so yeah, I've got a nice dent here. I mean, it's, let's see, let me get just to kind of give you an idea. Let's see if you can see under that. I can't see anymore, I'm freaking going blind, so I don't know if you can see that or not, but yeah, there's pretty good light underneath that. So that's a pretty good little dent. And you can see where the crown is out here. So I'm gonna have to push up and then slap it out, basically is what I'm gonna do. And I had a comment the other day from Greg's Garage, and it's talking about slapper spoon, and I made this, basically heat it up with a torch and bend it. It's probably not the perfect angle or whatever, but it works. And the advantage of this over the regular spoon is the fact that when you slap the metal, it leaves spots so you see where you're hitting, and so that's kind of an advantageous thing. And so I'm going to use this on this one here, and just to kind of give you an idea of the way it works, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Now, I just worked my chest, and I feel like I can't hardly lift my frickin' arms now. So this is going to be pretty tough to do, but I'm going to do the best I can. So I'll set you up and bring you back. Little shiny spots is coming up. You can see your spots as you're pushing up. I'm keeping my arm on this because otherwise I would push the whole thing up. So hopefully you're able to see that without me getting too much in the way. Something like that, maybe. All right, so see where we're at? Still see the shadow. Hopefully you're able to see that. Got you zoomed in pretty good, but yeah, out through here, it's still low. I really need to be hitting from out here back in still while pushing up on this center. going towards the middle of the dent. When I get to this side, I'll go that way. All right, guys, this was the dent. You saw the gap before, and now we're running it. See it? There's no gap, no light through there at all. And you can see, let me move it up. You see where I worked all that? Okay, so here's the only issue. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit more work to this because this has been stretched, and then they stretched it back out, and then whatever else has been done to it, it has been stretched a little too much. Now I've got this out, but I think I'm gonna bring it up a little bit higher because here's what I'm gonna do. Now, watch as I come down here with my finger. Need new gloves too. Okay, good, 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 good. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Good, 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 good. So, this area is tin canning, okay? When they say tin canning or oil canning, that's what they're talking about. You don't want that. So what you have to do is shrink that metal. Well, lucky for me, they drilled those little holes in there because I'm going to weld that. When you weld that, that's going to heat it. What's that going to do? That's going to shrink it. So it's perfect. But I need to get this area up high so when it shrinks, it comes back down to relatively close to level or just a little below so that I can add just a tad of filler there. So that's what I'm going to do. This is all theory for me. I've not tried this before, but it just made sense to me because you know when you shrink it, it's going to pull down. So this needs to be up a little higher. That way it'll shrink back down to hopefully, and when it does, it'll shrink in, and hopefully that takes that tin can out of there. We'll see. Like I said, humor me on this, and I'll bring you back. See you. This was just kind of a guess thing to do. But I've got my holes filled in. Obviously I haven't ground them down, but no more tin can. And all I did was I welded, I quenched it, welded, quenched it, welded, quenched it. And now I'll just grind that down. Now, that's probably going to be a little bit lower in a couple of spots. I could probably work that back up with a hammer and dolly, but I don't want to stretch it back out. So right now, somebody's trying to get a hold of me. Let me bring you back. All right, focus, 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 back, 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 back. Okay. So here's what we got going on now. Pulled down a little bit. Not much there. Not really any there, and a little bit through there, so a little bit low in those little areas. The rest of this though looks really good, so I may work that back up a little bit more after I zip that down and hopefully don't stretch it up too much. I'll probably just go over these little areas here and get that work back out. All right, I'll bring you back. All right guys, there it is. It's really nice. Perfect? No, I'm changing my vocabulary. I'm no longer striving for perfection, I'm striving for excellence. I feel like I can hit excellence every time. Perfection I'm never gonna hit. So that's my new, that'll be my new word is excellence. I feel like this is very, very nice. You've got your, and you can still kind of see the shadows of where and that's got a little spot there where, you know, whatever, but I'll have to have just a tight coat of probably some fiberglass filler right there. And so that's about it. Now, I was going to say something else. If you look at this, look how rough this looks. Okay, we talked about this before. James Freddy's made a video years and years and years back, and I had watched it, and he was talking about not liking to do 36 grit on metal because for the next guy or the next generation or next whoever decides to restore the car, you've pretty much destroyed the metal for them. This is a perfect example of what he was talking about. they have run 36 grit or something very, very coarse, and you can see all those scratches. So all that is that's that grit, that brown primer down in those scratches. Now I've 80 gritted all this area here. You can probably see the little swirls or whatever where I've 80 gritted that. That 80 grit will not take these scratches out, and so that metal is damaged pretty bad. So what I'm going to have to do to this, ultimately, to repair it to where there's no, when it shrinks up, it doesn't shrink down into these scratches and stuff, is I'm going to have to epoxy prime it, and then literally the next day skim this whole thing with filler, literally the whole door, and then block it, and then high build prime it, and then block it, and then high build prime it, and then block it until and get everything shrink up, and so I can get rid of, because like I said, if you run this 50 grit, I would think would be probably as fine or as coarse as you'd want to go, because 80 grit will take the 50 grit out. But whatever this is, like I said, I don't know what they've done there, but it's really tore up, and that's the whole door's going to be that way. So somebody went to town with some kind of grinder of some sort, with no telling what kind of grit to take the paint off at some point in the past, and they really did a number on the metal. So it just causes the next guy more work. I mean, it can be fixed, but it's just, I'm going to have filler to fill in all the little scratches. So anyway, I got this side done. You guys seen all that. Didn't get anything done on this side. I've been working that dent like a crazy person. I get a little carried away sometimes. Let me show you the inside of that, and you can see how nice that is down through there. It really turned out nice. But I was going to show you this. That's the back side of the welds, and then that whole area there where all this whatever you call that shit is, that's where that dent was. So working that dent took all of that stuff off there, so that's all pushed back out the way it needed to be. So it kind of shows you how indented that was, to where when I pushed all that back out, it took all this undercoating or whatever that is off of there. That's going to be it for me. This video is going to be really long again, and the people that are learning, they're going to appreciate it, and the people who don't give a shit, they probably aren't going to watch it anyway. So here's the back side of that, which still needs to be ground down, but yeah, that's it. I'm going to take my wife out to dinner. Man, that dent took me a while. Like I said, it was just somebody had run filler over it, and it's so much easier. It really, really would be to just do that. Is it the right way? No. Did it last forever? Probably so. Will that be better repair? Absolutely. So, all right, guys, you have a good, what is today? I don't even know what today is, but you have a good rest of your evening, and I'll talk to you probably tomorrow.